Hello, scholars, and welcome to week one of POL450 Research Methods for Political Science. This will be our first video in a series of videos that are released each week at the beginning of the week, which will highlight the week's events, the lecture material, and any issues we had from previous weeks. The idea behind these videos is to give you the working knowledge that you will need to complete the week's activities, to complete the activities to the standard in which I will hold you accountable for, and to address any potential problems that we've had in weeks past so that we have clarification as we move forward. In addition to the weekly activities, we will also ensure that we are keeping on a timely timetable for the critical assignment and that we're moving forward at a pace that will let us to be successful in this course. So let's get started here in week one. As you see, I am on my Blackboard page, which should look very similar to yours. We'll go to Learning Activities, and we'll look at week one. Right off the bat, we see that the theme is Introduction to Research Methods. You'll note that there has been a syllabus video that's added. I added that earlier this week. And what that does is it goes through the syllabus, I'm hoping to answer all the questions that you could potentially have about this course, and to try to get clarifications on things like work week, late assignments, the grading policy for this course. So if you've read through the syllabus, I recommend that you take I think it's a little under 20 minutes, watch this video. I think it will be some valuable information as we move forward. Then we move into our week one agenda. Here we can see the breakdown of what we have assigned this week. We have our reading assignment, our PowerPoint lectures, our video, a PowerPoint lecture. We have our written assignment number one, our application assignment number one, and our week one journal assignment. For the reading assignment this week, we'll be in our bag alone text. Writing a research paper in political science, 3rd edition, a practical guide to inquiry, structure, and methods. For this week, we are going to be reading chapters 1 and 3. To build upon the reading, there are a series of PowerPoint lectures that have been added. Each one of these PowerPoint presentations builds upon themes that are going to be talked about through the remainder of this class. The first PowerPoint, our week one intro, is going to give you some information on what it is about research methods. This could be confusing for some of you. In the past, you have probably done research papers, and I don't want you to get confused with a research paper and the research method. In this course, we are going to be doing a research project, utilizing a research method. We are going to be answering a question that we create that's applicable to topics within political science, and we are going to attempt to answer that question. This question has to be just that, a question. There is a topic that you wonder why, and you'll hear me refer to that several times throughout this course. There has to be a why. Why is something occurring? Why do people do certain things? Why are things happening? And you, as the researcher, are going to attempt to answer that question, the why. This question cannot already have an answer. There wouldn't be any need to research. So when we think of a research topic or a research paper in the past, all you've done is researched information that already exists. The answers are already there. You accumulated that and wrote that in some sort of structure, whether it be a term paper, put all those thoughts together. This is the opposite. There is no answer to this. You are going to need to research the answer through maybe a process of surveying, through collecting data. But that is the premise of this class, is how one can answer a question that already doesn't have an answer through a research process. And this week one introduction PowerPoint explains that. And that builds upon what we've read in the first chapter 1 and 3 of the bag alone text. The second is going to be this research prospectus. We already talked about the research prospectus in the syllabus video, but we need to build upon that. If you haven't watched the syllabus video, I'm going to reiterate it in that this class is unique. This class is unique in the manner that I believe you could consider it modular. And what I mean by modular is each week you're going to build a portion of the research prospectus. You're going to build a modular piece. And at the end, you're going to put all these pieces together and it is going to make up your research prospectus. Unlike other classes where you're introduced information on a weekly basis and then at the end you put all that information together and write a detailed research paper or detailed critical assignment, this is different. Each week we are going to build a certain building block. At the end, all you have to do is put those building blocks together and your research prospectus is done. Now, you might find that there's a little additional workload each week in this course as opposed to your other course, but where you're going to reap the benefits is at the end. If you put the due diligence in on a weekly basis in this course, each week building the block, when it comes time to the critical assignment, you're going to find that it's going to be workload wise fairly simple because all you're going to have to do is to attach the pieces that you've already completed and refined. Put those together, put them in a working manner, and your research prospectus is done. So we have a detailed PowerPoint here on what exactly our research prospectus is. What you're going to find, 3 chapters: an intro chapter, a literary review chapter, and a methodologies chapter. That's what we're going to write, 3 chapters. The literature review chapter, which we'll call chapter 2, chapter 1 being the introduction, chapter 2 being the literature review, chapter 3 being the methodologies. Chapter 2 is the literature review. So although we're not going to tackle that quite yet, there is a detailed PowerPoint on the literature review. And for us, our literature review is going to be an annotated bibliography. An annotated bibliography being 15 resources, 15 references, 15 academic writings that you are going to use in order to answer your research question. So all you're going to do is combine 15 different academic sources, and we're going to call that our annotated bibliography, which is then going to be our literature review, which is then going to be your chapter 2 of your research prospectus. And as you navigate through these, you're going to find that this makes, there's going to be much more clarity to it. But the first step that we are going to need to do is to create our research topic. How are we going to create, if we're going to have to create a research question eventually and create a research project eventually, the first thing we need to do is come up with a topic. So I've included a video here, which I think kind of Dr. Davis does a good job of how you can start narrowing your focus. And this will go directly into our week 1 writing assignment. So for our week 1 writing assignment, we can see that there's 25 points available. And before you can begin your final project, you need to select a suitable topic for research. Your topic needs to be theory-based, researchable, and relevant to some aspect of political science. So let's start with that. Theory-based, researchable, and relevant to some aspect of political science. Researchable being the keyword, and political science. It has to be political science based and researchable, that we can actually attempt to create an answer to this question, or at least get some data to give us a suggestion on that answer. You will probably find this assignment more difficult than most of the others. However, time spent choosing your topic and its base in theory will make your week 3 assignment much easier. The purpose of this assignment is to help you review a number of potential topics relevant to political science and become familiar with a range of literature that will help you with later writing assignments in this course. The assignment has the following structure. Select 5 possible topics of interest and do the preliminary research on each of them. Next week, I will ask you to select one of them for your research prospectus. So try to find something that can sustain your interest for the duration of the course. Write a short paragraph on each of these potential topics that defines the concepts that you would research and why it is an important topic in political science. So I know that might be, and as we've noted, this is going to be difficult, but how we can deal with that difficulty is the first thing, this is going to be the topic that you're going to utilize for the remainder of this course. So I would choose something that you actually have some sort of interest in. A lot of times, if we have interest in something, it's because we have some working knowledge in it. So try to find a topic that you might have some knowledge in as well. I remember when I was going through my doctoral program, and I had to choose a topic for my dissertation, it would make sense that I would hone in on the things that I, one, had knowledge of, two, I had interest in, and three, that I was passionate about. And for many of us, that involves something that includes our work life, especially if this is going to be political science based. So for myself, I enjoy education. I also, my primary career is that I work for the fire department. I also needed something that was public administration based since my degree path was in public administration. So when I looked for topics, I found what was based upon education, the fire department, and political science. And that's where I started and tried to find topics and eventually narrowed down a topic that I could write a dissertation on. And I suggest that you do the same. You can do internet research. You can look around your previous courses that you have taken in political science or in public admin, whichever you have taken your career path in, courses that you have seen that have interested you, that you have been that have sparked your passion, and try to find 5 broad topics. Remember, these topics can start broad right now. 5 topics that you're interested in, and write a paragraph or a short paragraph that why it's important to you and why you would consider this topic important to political science. Define the concept. Give me those 5 topics, and what we'll do later in this course is we'll take those 5, we'll narrow it down to 1, and from that one topic, we'll create a research question. That you can read through the criteria. Submission integrates all required components, 15 points, and that I'm looking for academic quality writing. You are at university level writing, so I expect university level writing skills to correct grammar, spelling, and APA citations and referencing. So there's the breakdown. Our next deliverable this week is going to be an application exercise, which is a quiz. This quiz assesses your understanding of APA formatting. You will be able to find the information easily through the APA manual or online at the websites given in the PowerPoint lecture. There is no time limit on the quiz, but once you open it, it must be completed. Do not to try to save your work and come back at a later time. The quiz may be repeated once time for a better score if you wish. So let's break that down. Application exercise, we're applying the knowledge that we learned this week. In this, we need to ensure that we have a good understanding of APA formatting. As we look through that, this quiz, there's no time limit, but once you open it, you need to complete it. So use some time management. Once you start it, complete it. Then you have one opportunity once you complete it to repeat it to get a higher score if you wish. And then our final task this week, or final deliverable, is our week 1 journal assignment. Please respond to each of the prompts given below. Your response to each of the prompts should be summative and demonstrate writing skills appropriate for a 4th-year college course. And the questions that I need you to answer: what skills and knowledge from previous courses do I have that should prove helpful in the course on research methods in political science? Be specific in answering these questions. How much time do I plan to allocate to this course each week? And what most do I want to learn from this course? And the grading rubric and criteria is listed. Remember, for journals, this is a conversation between you and me. A journal would be as if you were talking directly to me. I don't want to necessarily think that they're informal, but I think there is a peace of mind, or there is a different frame of thought with journals where you're not speaking to the entire class, you're speaking one-on-one with me. And that's the difference between our discussion boards, which is going to be that forum where we're going to talk as a group, and a journal where it's going to be that one-on-one. I'm not going to necessarily say it's a more intimate, but it's a little bit more of a private conversation between you and me, as if we were speaking together. And this will be our journal exercise. Now, let's go back to our week 1 agenda, because I want to talk about due dates. Once again, when I say once again, building off our syllabus, our assignments in this course are Monday through Sunday. This course opens on a Monday and it closes on Sunday, Sunday being day 7. All of these will be due on week 1, day 7, the end of day 7. So by 11:59 on Sunday evening is when these assignments are due. You can reference the late policy, which was went over in detail in our syllabus video. And what you'll notice or what you'll read is that there is a strict due date and late policy in this course. I know that we are all working adults, and I understand that. I too myself was a working adult. I too am a product of CBU in online and professional studies. I got my master's and my doctorate through this and utilizing these same deadlines. I realize that we are working adults, but that's why you have an entire week to meet these deadlines. I also know that as a working adult, deadlines are part of reality. And if we are preparing you for a career and a professional career, meeting deadlines is going to be essential. So, with the exceptions of dire emergencies, there is a strict um, adherence to the late policy. And I need all of our work in on time by Sunday at 11:59, which I do not find and I do not believe will be an issue for any of you, because by the time you're taking a 400 level class, you should be very accustomed to meeting deadlines of the online professional student. Now, before we leave, I want to just break down a quick rundown of how this course structure is going to work for us. So in week one, we're going to research our topic. And that is going to set us up for week two, where we're going to talk about IRB, this Institutional Review Board guidelines. And what this is going to tell us and what we're going to learn from this is what kind of ethical research can we do. So week two's topic is this ethics and these ethical dilemmas, and what is ethical research and where does that fit into our realm. That will set us up for week three. Week three is where we're going to take our research topics from week one. We're going to incorporate and ensure that it's ethical research, and then we're going to create an actual research question. In week four, we're going to take that research question and we're going to figure out how can we actually measure that? How are we going to be able to actually get data to answer that question? How are we going to measure it? In week five, we're going to start writing survey questions. The questions that you are going to ask your sample size, your population, to actually get the data to answer your questions. In week six, we're going to talk about secondary data and how we can use existing data, stuff like census numbers and population numbers, to enhance our research. That will then take us into week seven, where we're going to combine all that information together. In week six, I forgot that that's where our annotated bibliography is put in. And then in week seven, we're going to pull all that information together and we're going to do that rough draft of our prospectus. We're going to take that information from week 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5, put that together and make up our chapters 1 and 2 and 3. And we're going to come up with that draft, which we will then finalize for week 8. So hopefully you get a good understanding of the structure of this class. I know that was a lot of information to throw at you in just such a short video, but after you go through a few of the reading this week and we go through a few of those PowerPoints, I believe it will make much more sense. I ask you to be diligent in your week 1 activities. You'll find that the more effort you put on the front side of this course, the easier it will be on the back side. If you get a good topic, which will then turn into a good research topic, which is easily measurable, which is realistic. And that's one of the things that I want. Make sure that your topics are realistic. It is something that can be measured. And remember, you're not trying to solve every problem in the world in this course. I would say that a simple, measurable topic is what we are looking for. A topic that is realistic, is simple in nature, and is something that we can actually answer. Not a wicked problem, not trying to cure a problem that there is no solution for. And I think as you look through this week, you'll find that you'll hopefully hone in on some topics that we can work forward. But in closing, I'm glad that we had this opportunity to talk. If you have any questions, concerns, issues with this first week, the true key to success in this class is going to be communications. If we can learn to communicate early, then I don't see that there would be a problem that we can't solve. Where we will run into issues is if we wait till the last minute to try to solve problems. That will be a demise for yourself in this course. You cannot wait to week 7, week 6, and say, hey, I'm confused, I don't understand research methods. If we have issues, we need to address them early on, which hopefully by this point in our academic careers we are good at. So, constant communications, if we don't have any issues. I live by the premise that if I'm not hearing from you, it's because things are going well. Let's ensure that we hit our deadlines, that we hit our due dates, and most of all, let's all have a good course together. Let's learn from this course. I believe research methods, this is a great course because you can then apply this knowledge to existing research topics in the past, research topics that you're going to read in the future. You're going to be actually able to use this information when you see a research topic, when you hear something on the radio, when you see some statistics on the internet, or when you see on the news, where you can actually look at that information, see its relevancy, and actually apply it. I'm looking forward to our next 8 weeks together. I'm excited about our next 8 weeks together. If you have any issues, please get a hold of me. I'll be thinking about you. I'll keep you in my thoughts and my prayers over this week, that we can be successful and that we will be able to have the wisdom and the guidance to press through this course. I look forward to additional videos. I look forward to talking to you more, and we'll just consider this bye for now until we talk again.